Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thanks for joining me today. And happy Monday. You already know we're going to kick it off with some motivation. Here's the quote. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. These words are really beautiful. So let me remind you that your existence is important. You being here in this world impacts someone. The smile that you give can change another person's day. The work that you do is needed, and the way you show up in this world matters. So throw kindness around like it's confetti and give yourself grace, because you're doing great. Now on to the show. First up, we are going to have some fun in the kitchen and learn how to decorate Easter cupcakes. These designs are so advanced, but Autumn at Country Kitchen SweetArt breaks it down and makes it look easy. So I'm putting my skills to the test. Then it's Money Monday, and Foster Financial is here to explain Fixed Index Annuities. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Look at this beautiful tray of cupcakes, Easter themed, and today we're going to learn how to make them at Country Kitchen SweetArt. And joining me today is their owner, Autumn Carpenter. Hi, Autumn.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, well, I'm so excited. You always have such cool items here. So talented with the decorating, but this store has so much to offer. So give us an overview of Country Kitchen SweetArt.
Well, we have anything you need for baking, cake decorating, candy making. So if you really love being in the kitchen, making sweet things for your loved ones, or even as a business, we've got everything you need for that.
Yeah, and you offer classes too that allow for people to learn how to decorate cupcakes, cakes, cookies. And so this class in particular is your open cupcake class. So when is that happening?
That's happening this Thursday, and you can come anytime between 4 and 7. We love it if you sign up. It gives us an idea of how many cupcakes we should have ready.
Right.
But you can walk in as well, anytime between 4 and 7.
Perfect, and you come in and you get to learn how to decorate. And let me just say, the recipe for the cupcakes is top secret, but so delicious. Okay, Autumn, let's dive into it. So first up, let's make this Easter, what is it, like a egg's nest?
Yes, yeah. So to start, we need to make the little nest, and we'll do that ahead of time so that the chocolate has time to set.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and take our little melted chocolate wafers we have, and then make dump in of this coconut crunch about the equal amounts.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to just stir that until it's nice and incorporated, and we want it really thick, so it's just the coconut with. Just dump a whole bunch more in there. We're going to need a lot.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
The
and then
party.
just stir the chocolate until it's nice and thick, and you want just enough of the chocolate so it coats that, so it'll be a sturdy, thick nest.
Yeah.
And then when that's all stirred, we're just going to spoon a little bit of a mound on top of your parchment paper.
So cool, yeah.
And then once that's all mixed in, it looks good. Just spoon on your parchment, and then you add 3 little eggs.
Okay, so just spoon a little bit over here.
Yep.
And it's a nest, so it just kind of has its own little shape.
It
going
does.
with it.
And then you put those eggs in while the chocolate's still wet. And then we'll let it set up for a few minutes. Meanwhile, we can decorate our cupcake.
All right.
All right,
Awesome.
so you just grab your bag. You've done this before. You're a pro by now. So we're just going to pipe right on top of the cupcake, starting at the outer edge, slightly above the cupcake, and just go around. And after you have that piped, I'm just dipping a brush in, this is airbrush color, that's brown. I'm just going to shake it, and that gives that kind of a splattery robin's egg look.
Yeah.
And then after that's done, you just place your nest on top. So super easy, and this cupcake's great because it gives the recipient a little bit of chocolate along with their cupcake.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, so that's our first cupcake.
So that, and then
Just plop that on top.
Plop that on top.
There you
And
go.
just like that. Oh, and then you also have the little sprinkles on the egg, which I love, that dotted. So you just kind of do the same.
Yep.
Just have it. There we go. There it is. That tap, 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 tap.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
All right.
So cute. On to the next. All right, next up, we're gonna make a traditional cupcake, but actually it has a cool little saying on it.
Yeah, so we have these little letters that you can just put together and put any saying that you'd like. We're gonna put Happy Easter.
Okay.
Because Easter's coming up this week. And first we'll make the plaque, and to do that we're gonna take powdered sugar and dust our surface so it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna roll it pretty thin, just about as thin as you can get it. And then when it's rolled to the thickness you like, we're just going to use our round cutter. And then we just snap together what we want it to say. So you can really personalize it for weddings or baby showers or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just gently press, and that's going to emboss our message, which is Happy Easter.
Oh, these are so creative. And of course, people can buy all of this stuff here
Yeah.
in your store. Okay.
And so, yeah, it just looks just like it says on
The top.
the top, yes.
Okay.
And then once you get that embossed, we'll go ahead and pipe just like we did on our Easter nest.
Yeah.
And start at the outer edge, just slightly above the cupcake, and work your way into the middle. And place that plaque on just after it's iced. And then you can add some little flowers at the bottom of it, and just use this green icing that I have.
Yeah. I think I pressed too hard.
Oh yeah, that happens sometimes. So it's once you do that once, you know how to do it for the next time.
Yes.
And then use that icing to attach our little flowers at the base. Now this pastry bag I actually cut into a V shape, a teeny tiny little V shape. And if you look at it really closely, it looks like almost like a bird's beak.
Right.
And that will make it so we can pipe little leaves. So I'm just gonna
nice.
hold the bag so the V shape is pointing down like that. And then you can pipe little leaves to accent your cupcake. And I'm holding this at about a 45-degree angle.
Cute. All right. And there we have it. Happy Easter. All right, so now we're going to get a little more complicated in the design. So next is, what is this called? The carrot top?
Yeah, we'll call it a carrot top.
Okay.
This is like a carrot that's just springing for the spring. So for this, we're just going to start pipe just like we've been doing.
Okay.
And then once it's all piped, we're just going to dip the top into the same coconut that we made our coconut nest with.
Okay, this chocolate one's thick.
Yes, the chocolate definitely is a little bit thicker.
Okay.
And what's cool is we just took some green food color dust and mixed it in with our coconut so you can change the color of it, and it makes it look like grass.
It does. That is beautiful.
And then after you get that, we're just going to start just above the cupcake at a 90-degree angle, and put some pressure to attach the cupcake to attach the carrot, and then just slowly lift.
Oh.
Perfect. And then we can push that little peak down with a damp finger. That will help it so it looks more like the actual shape of a carrot. And then once you're done with that, we're just going to add our little green, I guess they'd be leaves or stem. I don't know what you call that on the top of a carrot. But whatever that greenery is on the top, that's what we're adding to the top of the carrot. Just 90 degree, holding straight up and down and pulling up. So this one wasn't too technical, not too bad.
It looked like it, but wow.
Yeah,
Awesome,
perfect.
yay. Carrot top is done. Okay, Autumn, I am so excited about this one. So this basket looks so hard, and you're gonna teach us that technique?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is the most complicated one, and it takes a little bit of skill and figuring out where you got to pipe those lines, but hopefully we'll make the perfect basket today. So
right.
start with your white, and you're just going to pipe a thin layer on the top of the cupcake.
Okay.
And then after it's piped on, you take our little cake cloth for perfect smoothing. So you have a smooth surface for that basket piping we're going to do.
Love the cloth.
I know, it makes it look so much more perfect.
Yes. All right.
Okay, now we got to find our center point. That's where we're going to start the top of the basket. And so you're going to take your basket and you want to hold it so that the flat edge is going to be flat on the cupcake. And we're going to pipe just above it, and you're going to do maybe about 1/4 of an inch piping for one line. Leave the same amount of space and then pipe another one.
And this is for the top of the basket.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is where we will put all the things on the inside of the basket. It's going to go, the goodies are going to be right on top of this line.
Okay.
And remember, leave a space in between. Perfect. Then after you get those all drawn, we're going to turn our hand and pipe a stripe going right at the bottom of those that you've just piped. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to start right beside that first line that we made, going in between those pipings, and pipe over that stripe and come back down.
Okay. So the top of your basket will be over here?
Nope, this is our top right here.
Okay, this is the top. So I am...
So you're going to pipe right here and then go over that
over.
line.
Okay.
Yep, that's what you want to do. Yeah, for never have piping, you're doing a great job.
Thank
well,
you.
other than here.
Right.
Yeah, that is perfect.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to draw another line right under this point right here. So your line's going to go right under there. And then we're going to go in between these lines there and go over it just like we just did with the first one. And then you just repeat that. If that was a big cake, that's how you would do the whole cake. Now this is just a teeny tiny cupcake.
Basket cake would be incredible.
Yeah. You think you got the hang of it now?
Yeah.
And then once you get that complete, we're ready to add the basket handle.
Okay.
And for that, I'm going to hold it at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to put pressure, kind of push up, and then release pressure and pull back. Pressure up, release pressure and pull back. You're going to continue all the way around the edge of the basket. Very nice. Well, you beat me there. Okay. And now we're ready to add our little accents. So you just put your flowers wherever you'd like. And we have some little Easter egg sprinkles that you can fill in the basket. And we're also going to just pipe a couple flowers. So the first flower we're going to make is a little rosebud. And with that, we're just going to take it's number 13 star tip. And you start 90-degree angle right above the cupcake and pipe in the middle and then make a little swirl all around that center. And that's like a little rosebud. Nice. And then we have purple that we can make some lilacs with. And to make lilacs, you're just going to start with the row of little dots. and then build up the dots a little bit smaller as you go all the way up to the top.
Oh, okay.
So then here's our leaf tip that you can just pipe some leaves, and that kind of makes everything look complete once we get those leaves in.
Yeah.
And then our basket cupcake's done.
Okay, yay! Look at that, so cute! Easter basket, wow. These are so incredible. Thank you so much for teaching me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here with us today.
Yes, and of course people can experience the fun themselves at the open cupcake night.
Yep, all ages.
Happening. And how do they register?
You can just go to our website and register online, or again, you can walk in if you'd like.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, and
Thank
happy
you.
Easter.
Happy Easter to you.
If you would like more information about Country Kitchen SweetArt, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Money Monday, where we give you holistic financial advice, but specifically for women in retirement. And today, joining me is Caleb Doan, who is the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing well, and I'm excited to learn about this topic today. So what are we discussing?
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about fixed indexed annuities, or FIAs, sometimes
Okay.
you'll hear them called. So I know we like to kind of focus on financial advice specifically for women in these segments. Fixed indexed annuities are really interesting in this topic because on average, women tend to be slightly more conservative with their investments than their male counterparts.
Right.
Fixed indexed annuities are a very conservative investment, but they're also a very complex investment, and so they can be kind of hard to understand. So there's a lot of people out there with fixed indexed annuities, and they might not fully know how they work. And so
Right.
I figured it would be helpful to maybe spend a couple segments talking about kind of the ins and outs of FIAs.
Yeah, well, let's start from the top. What is the primary thing people should know about these accounts?
Yeah, so fixed indexed annuities, it's a type of investment account, but the reason that it's conservative essentially has to do with how interest is credited into the account.
Okay.
So typically, it does not usually track the market day to day like a 401k typically would. Usually, interest is only credited once a year on the policy anniversary date.
Okay.
So, you start the policy on April 1st or whatever it is, the next April 1st, you get the interest credited to the policy. If the stock market has gone down, nothing gets deducted from that policy. If the stock market goes up, you'll get some interest credited to
Okay.
it. So, if you put $100,000 in and it tracks the S&P 500, if the S&P goes down 10%, you still have your $100,000 come that next year. Now, there can be other ways where the account values can go down, namely if you take withdrawals from the account or if there were fees for certain features on the account. But generally speaking, if the market goes down, these policies are not going to go down. When the market goes up, the policy has the ability to go up, but it typically does not go up as much as what the market does.
Okay.
And so, a common sort of crediting strategy that they'll use is they'll have a cap on them. So it'll say, hey, this annuity tracks the S&P 500, but it has a 5% cap.
Okay.
So if the S&P goes up 20%, you only go up 5%.
But that is still nice that there is some flexibility considering it's fixed.
Right.
So sometimes you feel like, okay, it may be locked in, and if it goes up, I don't gain that benefit. But you're saying that it's a little bit more flexible. So this account in particular, who does it apply to? Can anyone get a fixed annuity?
Yeah, anybody can get into a fixed annuity, but typically they're most appropriate for conservative investors because this is of course going to be in that conservative sleeve of somebody's investment. We don't see too many 30-year-olds that need to be in a fixed indexed annuity, and even in retirement I think generally, and this is kind of a broad statement, but generally I would say fixed indexed annuities are maybe oversold in the industry. I see more cases of people kind of coming into my office and they're in a fixed indexed annuity, and I think maybe they shouldn't be, as opposed to the reverse, where somebody comes in, they don't have any FIAs, and I say, hey, this would really apply to you.
Yeah.
just because there are different pros and cons, and it depends on, if it fits into your financial plan or not.
Right.
But generally speaking, that's kind of how the interest crediting works on those. So some of them have a cap on them. Other ones have a participation rate is another common one, where maybe they say, hey, if the S&P goes up 10%, you'll go up 70% of whatever that goes up. So it goes up 10, you go up 7, and then you're protected on the downside too.
And so with the fixed term in it, how long does one have to keep their money in that type of plan?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's one of the big, I guess, pieces that maybe people don't fully understand about these annuities, is that in almost all scenarios, there's a surrender charge and a surrender period associated with these annuities. And so you can't just put money in and then 6 months later decide to pull all of the money out. Usually you have to stay in them for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, depending on the product. And so if you wanted to pull out money before that, you would typically get charged some sort of a surrender charge, is what they call it. And there can be different features baked into the product. Maybe, you can take out 10% of the account value each year without incurring any of those charges. But typically, if you turn around and want to pull out everything, there's going to be some sort of penalty there.
Okay, that's interesting. So I feel like we will get a chance to dive deeper.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
have some more questions. So this is really good information. So thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll see you next time on Money Monday.
Yeah.
And if you'd like more information about Foster Financial, well, we'll have their website and phone number listed below. Give them a call for your complimentary consultation, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And remember, you can always watch episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. Courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. So I hope you hold that close with you this week and have a great rest of your Monday. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.